Welcome to Mathenatic. We are busy revising exam type questions based on financial mathematics. And in this video, we are dealing with quite a difficult exam type question. It says, Peter borrows 500,000 Rand from a bank and repays the loan by means of monthly payments of 8,000 Rand, starting 1 month after the granting of the loan. Interest is fixed at 18% per annum, compounded monthly. How many payments of 8,000 Rand will be made, and what will the final payment be? Now, this solution is quite long because we need to work out the size of the final payment as well. But let us start with the first part of this question. It says, how many payments of 8,000 Rand will be made? So because we are using a loan, we know that we are using the P formula that we can find on our formula sheet. We know that the value of the loan, or P, is equals to 500,000 Rand, and that the monthly payments of X is 8,000 Rand. We also know that the interest rate is 18% compounded monthly, so I is 0.18 over 12. We don't know the value of N just yet. So here's the first part of our question. Can you see that I'm using the present value annuity from my formula sheet? The P value is 500,000 Rand. The X value is 8,000 Rand. And I plug in the I value as I explained. A common mistake is that students forget to raise it to the power of negative n. Now what we want to do is isolate this bracket of 1 plus 0.18 over 12 to the power of negative n. So let's go through it step by step. First, I take the 500,000 Rand and I multiply it with the denominator. Then I'll divide that result by 8,000 Rand. That will lead me to the contents of the bracket on the right hand side and a very busy fraction on the left hand side. In my next step, I'm taking this minus part of the bracket and I'm moving that part to the left hand side, and that becomes a positive value on the left hand side. Now where this 1.015 comes from is I take this 1 plus 0.18 over 12 and I put it into my calculator. The next part is this 1 minus is still on the right hand side, and I take our very busy fraction and I put it also on the right hand side. And notice it was positive on the left and now it is negative on the right. And now you can use your calculator to simplify this expression. So remember to practice with your calculator. So I'm left with 1.015 raised to the power of negative n is equal to 0.0625. Now we apply the laws of logs. So I put in log. The base value of my log is the base of the exponent, and the body of my log is the answer that we have here on the right hand side. When you plug that in, you have negative n is negative 168.222 and so forth. So I just divide by negative 1 on both sides to find n is equals to 186.222. So that means that 186 full payments of 8,000 Rand would be made. The second part of the question says, what will the final payment be? So here's the full solution, but we'll run through it step by step. I'm going to make my final payment X. A common mistake that students make is they take that 0.222 or just the decimal part and they multiply that by 8,000 Rand and they say that's the final payment. But what they tend to forget is that final payment that we need to calculate actually accommodates or includes interest that you've paid over this whole period. So to find this final payment, I need to move all of these payments right back to the start. So the solution almost looks like an outstanding balance solution that we have had in a previous video. But in this video, instead of moving forwards, we are moving back right to the start. So let's see what happens. We know that we are making 186 payments of 8,000 Rand. So if I move that right back to the start, I can find what part of the loan is still outstanding. Then I need to add this X value, which we don't know, and whatever this payment is, it actually has earned or accrued interest over 187 payments. So we need to take this compound interest also back right to the start. So this 500,000 Rand that we are trying to repay consists out of two parts. It is the loan that we are making with a full 8,000 Rand payments and another payment that has been charged interest over this full period. That's why it looks like compound interest in reverse. So in my first step, all that I'm doing is I'm taking this loan part and I'm moving it to the left-hand side and becomes minus on that left-hand side. I'm leaving this payment alone with its compound interest on the right-hand side. When I simplify the left, I have 110.409, and that is equals to our final payment. And again, I simplified this bracket, and we are using 187 payments because this is the 187th payment that we are trying to figure out. So in order to find the size of this payment, I would divide the left-hand side by this expression. And that means that the final payment is 1,787 Rand and 12 cents. So it is quite a little tedious solution, but all that we are doing is we are taking this payments back and we are removing the impact of the interest. That is why we are moving backwards. So we are trying to remove the impact of the interest in order to find the size of the final payment. Thank you for watching. Support us by liking and subscribing to Mathenatic. Check out our Digistore for math study notes, with free downloads for statistics and financial math. Follow the link in the video description.